So it looks like Valve has found a way to put a PC in the palm of your hand. Now, if we could just figure out how to deal with scalpers, we'll be all right. Let's get into it. What is going on, fellow board members? Welcome to the boardroom. I am Ords, and today we are taking a look at an article from IGN. So Valve has announced, I guess there was rumors a while back, that Valve was putting together some kind of handheld device, and honestly, it looks very promising. As much success as the Nintendo Switch has had, of course, somebody's going to try to come out and try to compete with it, which is a good thing. I think it's good that customers have options, and this seems to be like a pretty good option. Now, price is a factor in here, and we'll get into that when we get into the article. But yeah, guys, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscription button down below. It helps the channel, guys. Also, there are other ways to support this channel. You can find those links in the description down below. With that said, let's get into the article. Valve announces the Steam Deck, a $400 handheld gaming PC. Yeah, so I was kind of looking up on this thing, and I gotta be honest, this thing looks kind of badass. And to have your entire Steam library in the palm of your hand, to be able to play pretty much everything on there, is pretty intense. Let's get into the article. After rumors in May, Valve has now officially announced the Steam Deck, a handheld gaming PC arriving later this year. The Steam Deck has a form factor similar to that of a slightly larger Nintendo Switch, but with the capabilities of a full gaming PC. It runs a modified version of Valve's Steam OS, complete with a new console-like interface for easy navigation of both the Steam Store and your Steam library, but it also provides access to an unrestricted computer desktop where any third-party application can be installed. So yeah, you can actually hook this thing up to a monitor and use it, and I believe it's got the Linux OS in there for the desktop thing, but this is a full-on desktop PC, gaming PC in your hand. Again, very similar to the Switch, where you can swap between, the handheld version and play on the TV. But you kind of get a one-up with this system because you're getting a complete PC OS, where you can surf the internet, download third-party stuff, games, things like that. It's just crazy. Yeah, I'm not too keen on the storage space in this, and I'm not sure if they'll touch base on that in the article, but if they do, if not, we'll go over it, but onward. In terms of hardware, the Steam Deck has a 7-inch 1280 by 800 resolution 60Hz LCD screen, a custom AMD APU featuring a 4-core, 8-thread CPU paired with an 8 RDNA 2 compute units for the GPU, and a 16 gig of LPDDR5 RAM. Now, to compare it with the Switch has 4 gigs of RAM. This has 16 gigs of RAM, which is probably pretty much, like, I would say, standard base for any gaming PC. I mean, you can go up to 120, I think. I mean, it's crazy what you could do with the RAM in PCs now. But I think if your starting base would probably be 16 gigs for a gaming PC. So they are right in the ballpark with that, again, as compared to the Switch, which is 4 gigs. Particularly speaking, that makes it a substantial amount stronger than the Switch, allowing it to run modern games impressively well. As a point of reference, I was able to play Jedi Fallen Order on a in development Steam Deck at high graphic settings with little to no issue. Okay, well, little to no issue. What would be the issue? I do like that you have the customized video settings. I don't think you have that so much in the Switch. Maybe a little bit of graphic, change up you can in the options and games on the Switch, but this is like full on, it looks like, so that's pretty interesting. It can even suspend running games like a console, and Valve says the intent is really to give players access to their entire Steam library on the go. I think it's a great idea. I think this is kind of a smart thing. It really is kind of taking the Switch and stepping it up a notch. Now, as Switch being such a highly sold console over the last few years, I mean, I remember even last Christmas you couldn't even get one. It was so difficult to find one. Is this going to be the Switch killer? Is this what people are going to go for? I don't know. I think the Switch will have a market for a long period of time, but I think people are really going to be into this, and I think people will trade their Switches in for something along these lines. To better enable this, the controller setup on either side of the screen has all the buttons, triggers, and full-size joysticks you'd expect from the modern gamepad and more. The sticks are actually compactive, meaning they can detect when your thumb is resting on them, and below each one is a small trackpad that can be used for mouse input. There are also 4 back buttons on the rear of the Steam Deck that can be mapped however you see fit and displayed as a multi-input touchscreen. So this is interesting. You can add your mouse so you still kind of get your classic gameplay. Now, I'm not sure how they would do with the keyboard and stuff like that, but interesting that you have this mouse feel to it. This mouse of the trackpad there you see, I think, is kind of what they're looking at. But it would be difficult, I think, going from playing PC all the time and then having this handheld device as a controller when you're not used to playing your PC games with a controller. I think it might be easy for some people, but not so much for others. So interesting thought there. Additionally, the Steam Deck has Bluetooth support for any device you could connect to a regular PC, including headphones like Apple AirPods. It can also be docked and hooked up to an external display, as well as a mouse and keyboard if you want to use it for more traditional PC. So yeah, you could hook the keyboard up to it and the mouse. I don't know if you want to, I guess it's okay, but for a screen that small to carry the mouse and the keyboard around seems a little silly to me. But, if you're going over to your friend's house, if you're on the go, if you're, let's say you're traveling, and you still want to, check in with your daily quests for your games and stuff like that, that's probably something this is probably perfect for that. On the go, yeah, you have to carry your mouse and keyboard, but, what else can you ask for a full-on gaming PC in your hands? Well, Valve will be selling an official dock separately. Any third-party USB-C adapter should work just as well, and those who simply want an experience closer to that of a regular handheld or console can ignore the more computery aspects entirely. Yeah, so it flows between like a console feel and a PC feel. Both best of both worlds, really. All right, so now we're getting into the price of the console. I think it's kind of it's a bit ridiculous how they jump the price up here, but the longer this product's out, the cheaper it's going to be. And as a gaming PC, it'll probably be viable here for a handful of years. But speaking of selling, the Steam Deck will be available in 3 different models. Importantly, however, the only major difference between them will be storage size and speed. So when they say speed, it's like the higher the hard drive, the faster the speed is because the way it's connected. It's obviously going to be a lot faster going through their hard drive inside the system than like an SD card, but you'll still be able to use the SD card to like load up games and play games off of there. Just might not be as fast of a loading screen, but it is what it is. The base version will cost $399, so $400 gets you the base, and that's at 64 gigs. Most games nowadays are reaching 64 gigs. So, really, how many... they almost require you right out of the gate to make sure you have either an SD card or buy the top version, which honestly, just buy the SD card, spend the $400, which I don't think is a terrible price, especially if you have, a full-on, basically starter gaming PC, what this seems to be. I don't think that you're gonna want to spend you just get the SD card. It just makes more sense. At $400, you're getting yourself a pretty standard gaming PC, which is extremely cheaper than if you were to go on and buy something, with like mine has the 2070 Super in it. You're gonna spend well over $1,000 just on a base starter gaming PC, where this is gonna cost you $400. Spend the $400, get the SD. I think you're gonna have just as good of experience. You may have to wait a few more seconds for load, but it is what it is. So the next model is $529 with a 256 gig hard drive in it, and finally a $649 version that has a 512 gigabyte storage unit in it. Now, and honestly, guys, your PlayStation Pro or PlayStation 4 Pro is going to come with a terabyte of gig space. This isn't a lot of gig space, and for them to up the price, $130 just for 100 or so, 200 more gigs. And then to up it even more so, another 100 and some change for another few hundred gigs. It just seems ridiculous. You can go out and buy a 120 gig SD card for probably like 40, 50 bucks. I could be wrong on the price, but like I said, it just makes more sense to get the SD card than to buy because you're not having any more of a performance, right? You're not getting any more performance out of this system at a 512. And if the performance is better, it's your loading time, not the graphic capabilities of the device or anything like that. Again, I'm going to reiterate, just buy the smaller version at the cheaper price and get the SD card. You're going to save money, I think, in the long run. It also has an anti-glare etched glass screen treatment. The latter two Steam Deck will also have faster NVMe SSDs, so it'll have, like, I guess the higher one will have like more connected, or it'll actually have an SSD in it. So again, faster load times. If you want to spend $600-700 on a device just to have faster load times, whatever, man, whatever you got to do. And all three will allow you to install and play games off a micro SD card to expand storage capability. Yes, exactly. Just get the micro SD. That's the way to do it. Well, the Steam Deck doesn't have a hard release date yet, but it's currently set for a holiday 2021 launch. Back to what I said at the beginning of the video, if they can find a way to make sure that these damn scalpers don't take advantage of customers this holiday season, I think they could have a good experience. That's a big part of it, because you're limiting yourself, right? You want to get this device in the hands of people who truly want this device, not, a second market where somebody's going to up the price. You go for the $600-700 one, now you're paying $1,800 for it. It might not be portable, but you can just get yourself a gaming PC that's even better than that device for that kind of price. Just food for thought. And again, the scalpers, I cannot stand the scalpers. They piss me off more than anything. They take the fun out of this stuff. Valve president Gabe Newell told IGN that hitting these price points was painful and critical, as reservations pre-order systems will be rolling out in the near future, with Valve aiming to avoid the chaos and unpredictability of recent console launches. And all three price points will also come with a tailor-made carrying case. Okay, so if they're saying that they're going to actually try to put things in place, they're obviously referencing the scalpers and stuff like that. It's me personally, I believe that these companies don't care as long as they make their money. It doesn't matter. But as your customers, you're a company that is making this console and you're putting it out on the market. You want consumers who are going to keep coming back, who are going to keep buying your products. You want to give them a good experience. And you not, fighting against the scalpers is going to put a very bad taste in a lot of people's mouth. And if you want to do well in this market, you're going to have to make sure the scalpers don't take advantage of this. All right, so there it is, guys, the new Steam Deck from Valve. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think of this device. It looks like it's pretty cool. I'm not going to lie, I'm interested in this thing. Maybe this is something you're able to get your hands on before a PS5 or an Xbox whatever it is, Xbox, whatever, X Series, whatever they call it. There's like 10 million different names for it. But maybe you're able to get your hands on something like this before that. I don't know, but this seems kind of cool. It kind of entry level, gaming PC, something you can take with you on the go, carry your Steam library with you everywhere you go. I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed so far. Again, let me know in the comments down below what you guys think of this. Also, guys, again, if you are new to the channel, please make sure you hit that red subscription button down below. It always helps the channel, guys. You can find ways to support the channel in the description down below as well, so make sure you go check that out. Anyway, guys, there it is, the Steam Deck coming out, your entire Steam library in your hands on the go. I gotta say, I'm kind of impressed, and I can't wait to see how this actually performs. Thank you all for watching. I love all of you guys, and we will catch you on the other side. Peace.